in one of our public education drive to draw attention to the issue of corruption, but most importantly, to help you understand what we are doing about it. As we all know, Sierra Leone has gone through a lot. We have a story that is difficult to explain. A country where we have a lot in terms of resources, in terms of the human capital, in terms of the things that can make us prosper, yet we have not been able to make much gainway as a country. Even though we must recognize that a lot of efforts are being made by individuals and sometimes collectively to change the story of this country. Myself and my team at the ACC have remained committed to ensuring that we join the efforts of the good people who want to change the story of Sierra Leone by putting the
Welcome back to Latest Salon Gossip and Entertainment channel. Please subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Latest Salon Gossip and Entertainment, and on Instagram at Latest Salon Gossip and Entertainment. So that's all our subscribers. Keep subscribing to these channels. We're here to bring to you latest news, gossip, and happenings in here and Sierra Leone. A big shout out to Aminata Jallo, one of our subscribers. If you want to have a shout out from our subscribers, also leave a comment on the comment section below. The Anti-Corruption Commissioner Francis Ben Kafala has just recovered 34 million leons, new leons, stolen by one man sitting in the corner of a bank that the Anti-Corruption Commission has recovered total about $1.5 million. Just one man, a criminal called Salim Mansari, who fled to Dubai, and we had to return him to Sierra Leone. We did not just recover the full amount, we have ensured we clear all his personal accounts, which has over 1 million euros in them in total, and run him bankrupt. In addition, he has also been charged. He pleaded guilty to various corruption and money laundering offenses. So basically, this is from the Anti-Corruption Commissioner boss, Francis Ben Kafala. Please give your candid opinion in the comment section below. Tell us what do you think about this. Don't forget, this is Latest Salon Gossip and Entertainment channel. We're here to bring to you latest news, gossip, and happenings in around Sierra Leone.
In one of our public education drive to draw attention to the issue of corruption, but most importantly, to help you understand what we are doing about it. As we all know, Sierra Leone has gone through a lot. We have a story that is difficult to explain. A country where we have a lot in terms of resources, in terms of the human capital, in terms of the things that can make us prosper, yet we have not been able to make much gainway as a country. Even though we must recognize that a lot of efforts are being made by individuals and sometimes collectively to change the story of this country. Myself and my team at the ACC have remained committed to ensuring that we join the efforts of the good people who want to change the story of Sierra Leone by putting the interest of the country above individual interests. So today, what you see here is part of our recovery efforts for monies that have been lost to corruption, but because we have promised that our interest is not just to go after the people and punish them, but to make sure whatsoever they stole, they must bring it back wholesale. And this sea of money you see here today is actually the equivalent of 15 billion old loans, or now we call it 15 million new loans, but the money was stolen in old loans. And what you see here is just a small part. 40% of what one man sitting in a bank stole from Sierra Leone. One man. His name is Salim Mansari. He alone stole 34 billion euros plus of money that was meant for NRA and used it for his own purposes. If you can recall, this issue came out, civil society were involved. It involves the bank. The bank, which by the way is EcoBank, they did not really commit any criminal offense. They only had a staff who was a criminal. And that staff, working with other people, chose to create a device to steal money that was destined to go into NIA accounts and applied it for his own personal use. But when we became aware of this, we sat with the bank and told the bank, look, this is your staff. You were supposed to set up systems to avoid this money from being stolen. Therefore, while we are going after that staff to bring back that money, you as a bank have to return the money to us. And the bank, recognizing the good relationship they've had with Sierra Leone, EcoBank is a fantastic bank. Very professional. But if you have staff who are bad, you have to take some blame. Therefore, we asked EcoBank to pay back the full 34.6 billion, 34.2 billion euros. And they have agreed to pay, and we started with 15 billion euros, which is now in front of you. The balance will be paid every month starting January, 2.2 billion euros until September, which will total the full amount that was found to have been stolen by the gentleman called Salim Mansari, a criminal, serious criminal, from the people of Sierra Leone. Now, as for Salim Mansari, somebody will ask what happened to him for his crimes, and he has been convicted of a criminal offense on Friday. And after the conviction, his accounts were frozen. We froze his accounts. One of them had 800 million inside, another had 12 million in, the other one had about 160 million in. We froze all of it. After he stole this money, just like the other gentleman, Coker, who has run away to the US, he ran away to Dubai. Whilst he was in Dubai, we just make sure we close every tap that he will have access to money. And he got strangulated in Dubai because he did not even have money to eat. Because of that strangulation, his lawyers came to me and said, this man will die in Dubai if he does not come back. I said, okay, let him come back. But when he comes back, I am going to charge him. And after charging him, we are going to make sure we render him bankrupt, so he does not benefit from his crime. But he will also have to cooperate with us for us to go after every other person involved in that crime. And that is how he came back from Dubai to Sierra Leone. We have charged him and convicted him. He has been fined by the court and he has paid. We have also gone after his accounts, and we are going to clear all the money in his account. The only money that we agreed will be paid back to him was monies owed to creditors, which is about 250 million euros, and also the lawyers' fees who were representing him. The balance, we are going to clear the accounts completely and give back to the people of Sierra Leone in addition to the 34 billion euros that we have taken from. But also, this is to bring to the attention of the public what we are talking about. If one man who is not even a government minister He is not heading any public institution. He has not held any position. Could sit in one corner and steal 34 billion. What you are seeing here. Imagine if that is happening on a large scale. How can this country prosper? Where will the government get money to build schools, hospitals, roads, provide for the children, ensure that we have electricity, ensure that we feed ourselves, ensure that the governance architecture operates properly? And this is why, from time to time, we have brought things like this to your attention as the public to see what we are talking about, because we are dealing with a country where illiteracy is high. When we say somebody stole 34 billion euros, people don't even understand what that amount that is. This is just a small part of 34 billion euros that one man stole. That is what is on all this table, one man. This Salim Mansare, when he ran away and went to Dubai, we arrested his wife, and his wife came to my office. She sat, a very young woman, got married to this man. She does not even have a car. She sat in my office and said, it's been 3 days, I don't even have money to feed my children. I didn't even know that this man was having access to this amount of money. And I told her one of his accounts that we have now frozen has 800 million euros inside. She was shocked. So you ask yourself, what are these criminals doing with this money that is steal from Sierra Leone if they cannot even feed their own children? It's extreme wickedness. What I can promise you is this: the story of this country will not remain as it has been. It will change. And all of you and all of us have to continue working hard to make sure that the ones who have inflicted pain on this country will also inflict serious pain on them. We make sure that they do not sleep. And we have to do this, God being our helper. This is not in any way to shock the minds of people. It's for people to see what has been happening in this country. How individuals place their own interest above the interest of the country, to continue to impoverish it, to make sure that the good efforts of other people are not seen. Although. But I am also calling on all Sierra Leoneans to join the efforts of good people to see how we can change it. And the only way we can be able to change this is for people to come up, to help us go after them, to serve as witnesses when we go to court, to help our investigators go to the truth, and do not support your children who steal to come and take care of you. I understand the country is poor, but let not everybody have their own thief, because everybody has his own thief, and we all have our own thief that we protect. There will be a lot of stealing in this country. And the only thing that will happen is that the story of the country will not change. Because thieves will make sure that we don't have good roads, good hospitals, we don't have good schools. Our children do not grow in a country that is safe. Our policemen, our soldiers are not provided for. Our governance architecture is built on poverty. And above all, we are the laughter of the rest of the world. Because they will say we have gold, diamond, bauxite, we have minerals, we have vegetation, we have educated people, all kinds of PhDs exist in this country. Our story is one of those that we should sit down and reflect on. Why are we here? But today, I am showing you why we are here. One man stole 34 billion euros for himself. Imagine you have 15 of them stealing 34 billion euros for themselves, and others stealing 10 billion for themselves, others stealing 100 billion for themselves, and all of them are living in air-conditioned houses enjoying themselves. How would we progress? I leave you all to reflect on this as I now invite questions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, questions, your name and the media house or blog.
And millions of them are going to get food for. She married a thief and gave birth to a child for a thief. And that thief stole all this money and more that you are seeing here. His lawyers were with me this morning. He already has a 250 million debt with people who are running after him. And I told them that my interest is to make him bankrupt. And I asked them, do you know what bankruptcy means? And the lawyer says, I have an idea. I said, well, let me explain it to you. Bankruptcy actually means your inability to pay your debts. So people come after you to say you owe them, but you cannot pay. That is what bankruptcy means. And it is my desire to make this man bankrupt for life. I am a freedom fighter for the people of Sierra Leone. I don't care about him. And I'm not worried about the fact that his family will go to bed without food. Because that is what people have done to many children in Sierra Leone for years. Children who go to school, there are no learning materials. Hospitals without drugs. Once I went to the hospital my daughter was sick, and I took her to the hospital in the eastern part of Sierra Leone, the children's hospital. What is that hospital? There's a hospital there. Yes. Is it Cotton or Oladuri? We went to Dr. Robin Coker at Congo Cross. The place was locked. It was a holiday. And I took my daughter to that hospital. She was convulsing. When I entered the hospital, I saw one hospital bed, 3 children lying on it. One of them was peeing, and the peeing was coming on the other ones. In this country. I stood there with my daughter in my hands, and I made a decision that I will not allow her to be admitted in that hospital. And I had to live with her. Mister, do you know who is doing that to Sierra Leone? For 3 children to lie on one hospital bed and one is peeing on the other. It's people like Salim Masare who stole this kind of money. So I'm not worried about strangulating him. The same way I strangulated him, me and my team, we have very amazing staff at the ACC who are doing great job, particularly those in the investigations department doing work like this. We made sure we tied a noose around him that he himself could not survive in Dubai. He begged to come back, and we charged him to come. And it is the same way we are going to clear his entire account so that he does not have money, or if anything, let him start from scratch. So I am sorry. I am more concerned about the children of Sierra Leone than one man who is a thief, his children. Any other question?
Yes.
See how they say, who don't feel in our pocket? We don't know what they talk so, blah, blah, blah. I agree. Macroeconomics does not trickle down to the pocket very quickly. There will be change because corruption is a macroeconomic issue. The fight against corruption is a macroeconomic issue. It will trickle down to microeconomics, which now comes into the pockets of the individuals over a period of time. Because as things improve, as the governance architecture improves, as more and more systems are there, the economy is better, and things are working better over a period of, let's say, 10 years, then the country will start benefiting or feeling the effects of the kinds of things that we are doing. But if you now think that because Ben Kaifala has discovered 34 billion euros working with his team at the ACC, therefore every problem in Sierra Leone has to be solved, I am sorry. It doesn't work like that, although I would want that to happen. All we can say is that let us all continue putting in the effort that we can to continue changing the story of Sierra Leone. On this note, I want to thank all of you for coming, for being here, for helping us disseminate the message. The president apologized publicly. And in the hall where he apologized, while I sat in my office watching, hundreds of people in that office clapped and rejoiced. It meant the people of Sierra Leone did not want anybody displayed at the cotton tree. I am a public servant. I do not work for myself. and I agree that if the people of Sierra Leone don't want that, I shouldn't do it again. So we will not be taking Mr. Salim Mansare to the cottage tree, even though I, Ben Kaifala, want to tie him to the cottage tree so that every Sierra Leonean can see him. But it was openly rejected, and the president apologized as father of the nation on my behalf. I accept that wholeheartedly and thank him for doing so on my behalf. We have moved on from that. We are now in new stages. Instead of displaying him, we are now displaying the money that he stole. So nobody can call for my head to want to cut it. Thank you very much. Yes.
You are now watching the latest salon gossip and entertainment channel. Please subscribe.